What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bigfry, and today we have one of the biggest scams I think I have ever seen on this channel. And I know, I can see the comments now. Bigfry, you covered Raw. How is this more of a scam than Raw? Bigfry, what about Dead Matter? Oh, I can see it all, but listen. On paper and according to the Kickstarter of Dreamworld, Dreamworld is essentially the most ambitious title of all time. The last game you'll ever play, the infinite open world creative MMO Dreamworld. It's being developed by Dreamworld Realities. The infinite open world MMO sculpt the world and create with a massive catalog of objects, one single world, millions of players, explore thousands of unique biomes, fight and tame Dreamworld's incredible creatures. This game is on Kickstarter right now. It has 45 hours to go as of recording this commentary. I actually went through this a couple of days ago on my live stream. If you guys aren't following, twitch.tv/BigfryTV. We're live Monday to Friday. Dreamworld is the most ambitious project that I have seen in my life on paper. And if you guys can believe this, it's being developed by only 2 people, with a closed alpha set to launch in May 2021, according to their Kickstarter. This is a combination of all genres. This is a combination of every single style of game you've ever wanted in a game. Well, you know what? Let me just let the trailer speak for itself.
You want to create the world with the most freedom possible. If you see a tree and you want to cut it down, go cut it down. If you see dirt that needs digging, go dig that dirt. If you see a mountain that needs leveling, take that pickaxe and go level that mountain. From the highest mountains with waist-high snow, to tundra, to desert, to a Candyland biome, to a pirate bay with jungle surrounding it that's dense enough to get lost in. You'll see it all. The vision is that Dreamworld is the end game. It's every genre, every game, every style, all wrapped into one.
And the craziest thing, I know what you guys are saying, there's no fucking way this game would ever get finished. But to add on top of that, they're actually only asking for $10,000 US to complete this game. Now, when you scroll down and you do some research, you realize they are a Y Combinator company, which means these guys somehow managed to secure seed funding for this project. And we watched an interview they did with a YouTuber the other day, and they claim that they've raised $650,000, and people in their Discord are saying that they're hoping to get another $1 million in funding by the end of this week.
We have 650,000 raised so far. We started fundraising a week and a half ago.
And in that Kickstarter trailer, you have Garrison, who apparently worked at Facebook, Apple, and Google. Don't know when.
I was working at Google, Facebook, and Apple, and I left to come work on Dreamworld.
But he has gone on record claiming this is going to be the largest game.
The largest digital world that exists today can only have thousands of people. Then we came up with a solution that allows us to have millions. Dreamworld will be the largest multiplayer game ever.
Because instead of all of these other games with, you know, thousands of devs and millions of dollars in resources, this game is going to be one single shard world with millions of players being able to connect all at the same time. And watching one of the interviews, which I'm going to have linked down below, they basically claim they're going to be able to do this because of peer-to-peer connections, in which they break down every object that you see into an enum value, and basically every single client is going to be sending very little information back and forth to one another and then to the server.
The answer is essentially you try and run everything as much as possible on the various clients. You know, you take something like placing a block. You simplify that down to an enum that's actually quite small. And then if you further optimize based off of like location and visibility, etc., you can actually cut down the information that's being sent to all the other players. This is like drastically different from how like League of Legends or Call of Duty and all these type of games work that have a centralized server model where essentially the clients say like, oh, I left clicked, that gets sent up to the server. Then the server makes all the decisions. Okay, this person shot that person first. And then it sends down to all the clients. This one died, this one won, or something like that. Ours actually works more like Dreamworld has a bunch of parallel dimensions, and then all those dimensions synchronize over time by sending as little information as possible to each other, if that makes sense.
It's the biggest load of shit that I have ever heard in my life. And the crazy thing about this Kickstarter is you have the timeline of events. They have a roadmap on this Kickstarter basically saying the first Discord post they ever made when they both came together to make this game was June 3rd, 2020. And by my calculations, that would make it, about, 9 months of development time, 8 months of development time. They have, procedurally generated map, multiplayer launch, PvP was added in February, the Kickstarter launched, and now the closed alpha is beginning in May 2021. Basically, they say where they're at now: 2 full-time devs, 1 part-time dev, 8 months of development. While we don't have all the features in that trailer yet, we have a massive procedurally generated world that is entirely deformable, a large catalog of 3D objects for you to build from, basic combat, the multiplayer capacity to have thousands of players playing together, a massive, amazing community, and weekly feature additions. The long-term vision for this game is literally on their Kickstarter. Every genre, every style, every game type there has been and will be, all in one world, built by each player on the back of accessible and powerful modular user interfaces. They're saying think ZBrush, Photoshop, and SketchUp, but in-game and easier to use. If that isn't the biggest load of shit I have ever heard in my life, considering the guy who was like the marketing manager of this project, he originally worked on this thing called Core Aegis. It's like a harness to strap a speaker to your chest, like some sort of broke Tony Stark. Somehow, these two guys, in showing an alpha project with nothing but marketplace assets thrown together with the UE4 mannequin as the default character, somehow earned themselves $60,000 plus on Kickstarter, on top of the fact that if it's true that they actually secured seed funding for this startup company, they just scammed every single person involved with this project financially. And the fact of the matter is this game couldn't be done if you combine Rockstar with Blizzard, with CD Projekt Red, with all of these companies in one mega company. What they're saying is absolutely impossible. But somehow a dude who built a speaker that straps to your chest and a guy who worked at Google, Facebook, and Apple all at the same time are gonna bring this to fruition. And the thing about it too, on top of everything else, is when you watch the interview that they did, I find them incredibly arrogant when they speak about certain topics that people like to bring up, like the fact that they use marketplace assets. They claim that other companies that have been doing this and have taken 15 years, these guys have been able to do in 8 months. I'll let them tell you.
It's just a very wrong set of priorities. If you're like a scrappy development team of 3 people, like, you need to leverage everything you can and go as fast as you possibly can. So yeah, I mean, to other people that have taken 15 years to get to the same point that we've gotten in 8 months, like, be more ruthless. Only do your most important things. Leverage other people's work. It's not something to be looked down upon.
When asked why they were using marketplace assets, the spin that these two guys did to explain it.
Our kind of whole philosophy about this is like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, if we can spend money to leverage the work that other developers have done,
developers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like like what is with this? Like, oh, there's this Unreal Engine marketplace, and it's
You
like
shouldn't use it.
taboo to like, support your fellow developer and leverage it in your own game. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Making it sound like they're supporting these devs who are creating these things that never get used, like some sort of fucking champion for all of these devs creating these assets for the Unreal Marketplace. You know what those are used for? They're used for starter projects that are trying to learn Unreal Engine. They're used as supplements to a much larger project. Instead of using nothing but art assets and blueprint plugins, they're meant to help build the structure, not hold the fucking thing up from the bottom. And their nice little flip, oh, we put the UE4 mannequin in there as a nod to other game devs. It's all just fucking bullshit.
Instead of like making a different mannequin for our pre-alpha, like
we left the mannequin in as a wink and a nod to our fellow developers.
they didn't like it. They did not think it was a funny joke.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah.
When they talk about the stretch goals and the reason why they went to Kickstarter in the first place was to build community.
The reason why we're on Kickstarter is building community, and we just want to bring as many gamers who are passionate about the thing that we're trying to build along for the adventure as possible. And so I think that's the short of why Kickstarter. And we thought that it was going to be an awesome platform to get in front of the people who would love Dreamworld maybe most. So that's why we're there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a side note where so far we've been able to raise like 50K on Kickstarter in the last 3 days. Like, that is a lot.
Yeah.
If we get to like 150, like that's
developer.
another team member.
Right.
And, having a sixth person instead of just 5, if that's the right type of person, makes a huge difference. Like, that's the difference between having PvP or not having PvP, or getting the biome system implemented, or, like
Within a certain amount of time.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
we're going to be working on it, but the difference is actually very impactful.
As if the whole point of this was to grow their Discord, but at the same time make, a nice cool 60K. And then they talk about, that could potentially be another dev on the team. But when you go to their stretch goals, the first stretch goal at 70,000 is so that they can open up a merch store on their website. Even though all store purchases come with free in-game item counterparts as package deliveries, I don't know where they're going to get all those assets from. But guys, if they reach 150,000, you get a mystery Kickstarter exclusive pet. And at 250,000, they're going to have their first Dreamworld event. It's a concert, much like, Travis Scott and Fortnite, or Star Wars and Fortnite. These guys are going to do that too. Exclusive event items, pets, outfits, and more. Nowhere is any mention of trying to get another developer on the team, so I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But the pièce de résistance is when you watch the Kickstarter trailer and you realize that Zachary Kaplan, the marketing manager of this project, the guy at the top, basically explaining his life story about how last year he lost his job. He was applying to a bunch of places. Then he got a job, but then COVID hit, so they rescinded the offer. Then his fiance left him before they could get married, and he was broke, not being able to reach his full potential. That's fucking true. That's in the Kickstarter trailer. You know what? I'll just play it for you guys right now.
In March 2020, I was living with my fiance in New York City, and we were in our first apartment and struggling to pursue our aspirations there together. The prior 7 months, I was applying to at least 10 new jobs every day, and then suddenly, at the end of January, an incredible opportunity wanted to hire me, and the start date was March 17th, and March 15th, COVID hit New York City, and I lost my job as a waiter, and this opportunity rescinded their offer. And my fiance left me soon after. So I moved back in with my parents in California and began turning my life around. My best friend, Gary, a workaholic programmer, started calling me every day to try and cheer me up. And one of the times we were talking, I said, hey, why don't we just make the game we've always wanted to play?
And while I feel bad that that stuff probably did happen to him, I think the fact that it's in a Kickstarter trailer while you're trying to raise funding with no mention as to what your background and your credentials are, we had to dig through and find that you made Core Aegis, which was, I'm guessing, a failed product because according to the website, it hasn't come out yet. Now we have the biggest game of all time being promised to Kickstarter backers. Guys, look at what they've done in 8 months when all of these other companies have done the same thing in 15 years. You go to their Discord, if you start asking questions, I've already seen reports of people getting banned from there. Every single person in that Discord is under the role of dreamer because that's what this is. It is a pipe dream that I think most gamers had when they might have been in, I don't know, the 4th grade or 5th grade. Guys, we should make an MMO. You guys remember those days? Except these are 2 grown adults who just scammed 60K out of, I don't even know who. But the funny thing about it is, I am a backer at the $29 tier. It's a complete company write-off for me. But if this actually does hit alpha next month, as they're claiming it's going to be, I will be now entitled to a front row seat to the absolute shit show. It may not be the last game I'll ever play, but it will be the last game that 2 Silicon Valley rejects try to attempt to make on the backs of gullible gamers. Which, by the way, at the end of all of this, the people who are defending them in their Discord and backing and actually wanting to support this game because it's an amazing vision, you guys are to blame for this as well. I thought everybody learned from Raw. I thought everybody learned from Police 1013, Cyberpunk, yet time and time again, I get proven wrong, and it just shows that there are still people out there in the gaming world that are gullible as fuck. My name is Bigfry. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoy the video, leave a like on it. Try to share it with people so the gaming world knows that Dreamworld is just that, a dream, and nothing else. I'll see you on the next one.